bebop / hard bop lines. The first one is what I just played, and that was by Sonny Clark, an amazing hard bop pianist. It's over a minor blues, and he creates these really beautiful minor based patterns. I mean, it's like ideas you wouldn't have thought of on your own. He creates so many ideas over one chord. I mean, even this idea. This is all over G minor. And he sort of does this. He likes these patterns of minor major. Also these 1, 2, 3, 5 patterns. Also see that same pattern later on. One, 2, 3, 5 pattern. Right, so we see these patterns. Also, a really nice thing about Sonny Clark are these triplets that he uses. Or this is some really sophisticated playing. And this line over here. Also, what I really love about Sonny Clark is that he's not afraid to end on a minor major chord or minor 6 note, you know, like instead of ending on a tonic or a 3 or a 5, like or he'll do or, you know, something like so it really sort of highlights that melodic minor scale. That's a really special Sonny Clark touch. And if you look at the head of the song, you hear him play these. So it's like a half step to a chord tone, half step to a chord tone, half step to a chord tone. And same thing on chord 4. And what I would do is I would take snippets of the solo and practice them. So if I like this, I'll practice them over various keys and really kind of get that in my playing, you know. If I like the triplet part. And I try to incorporate that in my playing. And so in the PDF, you'll also see that I've broken down the sort of sections that I feel like he highlights the most, that being him targeting G minor, and then he goes on to target chord 4, and when he targets the altered chord 5. These are all great lines to practice. So I might take the altered line and do it over altered dominant chords and land on the chord 1. So G7 here. Here's C7, F7, by the way, in my left hand, I'm doing altered rootless voicings. Here's D7 alt. And then for chord 1, I do -6. Here's G7 alt. C -6. Here's C alt. Here's F -6. Or you can play it in this position. I will also attach the PDF for these left-hand voicings as well. McCoy Tyner. What I love about McCoy Tyner is that he's found so many different ways to use quartal voicings, not only in quartal situations, i.e. a modal song, but he will find places to use them even in something like a blues, something like a standard tune like Satin Doll. And then it goes to the 2/5 of chord 4. What it does, it treats the chord 4 as a dominant. So these are some really beautiful quartal voicings. Essentially, when you have F7, you can use the quartals that belong to C minor. But it can also work for F7. And what I would do is I would practice this again in various keys. So if I have a dominant chord, I can add those there. Bud Powell. This is taken from Ornithology, a really great line to use if I want to add a tritone sub. The original line is in G major because of course he plays Ornithology in the key of G major. So he did. But I kind of simplified it by doing. And the nice thing about this, and I think it's really effective, is if you actually play shell voicings as Bud Powell would, and then move down a half step with the shell voicing again, and then down another half step. That really sounds nice. Or D7 first, and then the tritone. How about playing a tune where I incorporate all of these? So, by the way, this is like everything that I do when I practice, when I try to incorporate new material. And usually I start to incorporate new material when I feel like I'm starting to sound the same, or if I'm feeling uninspired or there's a lack of inspiration, I go ahead and I transcribe something that I've been enjoying, that I've been listening to. And then how I take that transcription and make it effective is by using these tools that I'm showing you today. you know, by picking something that you like, breaking it apart, and then creating types of exercises around them. What I would do is I would just take a song and try to incorporate these things at every moment that I can find. So if I take a minor blues tune, for example, I will try to play more like Sonny Clark, which, you know, Sonny Clark has a way of playing that is just distinctly Sonny Clark. It's very bluesy, lots of triplets, sounds very minory, and yeah, it's just, you know, it's, to me it's almost like a monk or a McCoy Tyner. It's a very distinct type of style of playing, or even Bud Powell has his own very distinct way of playing, very less, you know, generic, I would say.